We are not victims, we are victors. We can have anything we want with manifestation. It's just the societal norm/program that makes it where we believe certain things are hard and only certain people can have certain things, or that only people that have the greatest ideas are rich, or only people who are talented are rich, or I'm just naming different things off that I know society pushes us to think and believe. But with manifestation, it's kind of like a fail-safe program in a video game. So say you're playing, I don't play a lot of video games, so this may come off wrong to the people who watch me who do, but correct me if I'm wrong. Like, say I know in the older versions of Animal Crossing, if you didn't save your progress before you logged out, I can't think of the character's name, but they'd have a character pop up and remind you to say, I think it was remind you, but it could have just been I'm pretty sure it was to remind you to save the game, so it was kind of like a crash, so you couldn't leave the game until you saved it. But with manifestation, that fell safe is the societal norms we see every day, and the norms of your family and how they think and what they've not brainwashed per se, but what your family has preset you, if that's a way to say it. One moment, please. Sorry, my mind had reset. But you have to get out of the preset reality you have to manifest. That's why we use affirmations. Because the affirmations are what, quote unquote, reset your brain to live in the reality you want to live in. So there's two very important factors when it comes to this. One, well, they go hand in hand, so I guess it could be one, but I'm gonna say two because it's two different things, but not really. You cannot react to what people are actually saying in the 3D about you. So, I don't know, I'm gonna say you're trying to manifest $1 million. And you say that to your mom or dad or aunt or uncle, and they look at you and then say, oh, you'll never be able to do that. Making $1 million or $1 billion is only something like Bill Gates can do. Right there, that would be a trigger for a lot of people trying to manifest all that money. And they go back into thinking what family has told them before. But when you catch yourself in that moment of going back to the quote-unquote preset reality that you've always lived in because it was manufactured and given to you at birth, you have to have a real good grasp on your affirmation and just go right back into saying, I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich. I'm a millionaire, I'm a millionaire. I make millions of dollars a day. I make millions of dollars a day. I make $1 million a day. I make $1 million a day. Because I can never remember what it's called. It's not familial ties. And it's not trauma bonds. But it's something that families pass down to each generation. And that's what manifesting helps break. Is the familial, the beliefs of your family and what your ancestors have gone through, so you don't have to do it again. If anyone can think of what I'm trying to explain, you can put it down in the comments below. It's not like trauma bonds or family ties. I've heard it millions of times on TV shows and stuff when people look back in their family trees and stuff to see who they're related to and what they've been through and how that has affected them in the present. Well, there's no really past, present, and future. Everything is on a timeline that clasps into itself. That's why you can change your inner story to change your outer story. So your inner reality can be manifested outward into the 3D reality. So the first part of that is what I just said. You cannot listen to what other people say. But really, it's together. You can't listen to what others say about you and what you're manifesting. And if you see the start of a manifestation, it's starting to come to fruition. You cannot look at what else is happening within the 3D that is saying, no, it's not. That's why I say it's kind of together, but kind of not. Because you shouldn't listen to what others say, but you also shouldn't look out into the 3D to see if it happens yet. So like manifesting a SP or partner, whatever you want to call it, SP, partner, boyfriend, girlfriend, significant other, whatever you want to call it. If you're trying to manifest that and all you see in your life is, I'm alone, I don't have one, I'll never find my SP, or whatever you want to call them. And yes, with manifesting an SP, if you already know the person, you can use their name. So, again, the two things: do not listen to what other people say in the 3D, and do not. A lot of the teachers just say, of law of assumption and law of attraction, say, do not react to the 3D in any way whatsoever. Don't. So like if you're waiting for a message from someone, don't check. If you're manifesting an SP, don't keep checking on their relationship status. Don't keep bugging it, Let the 3D conform to your inner reality before you start doing anything. And yes, I know it's hard, because a lot of the things we've wanted for, as long as we can remember. So, sorry, I lost my train of thought. But at the end of this, we can manifest anything we want. Just repeat. Or another way of saying that is persist with your affirmations. Same as many times as you need throughout the day. And like I said in my last one, robotic affirming is also a good way of doing that. And by robotic, I know when we think robotic, we think no emotion. Well, it is no emotions, but the main thing with robotic affirming, what it does conforms your subconscious quicker. And as long as you are detached from what you're manifesting, and detachment isn't like forgetting about it, or the detachment part of this is more of a, how do I want to describe this? It's not the way we think about detachment in normal everyday life. Like when you attach a clothespin to something. When you attach a clothespin to something, it's not that kind of attach and detachment. Attachment and detachment. It's more of a letting go of that desire. And by letting go, I do not mean I don't mean like, say you're putting stuff in a box to take to Goodwill, and you're like, well, I want to keep this, but no, it can, not that kind of letting go. It's a letting go or detachment as a way of, in the way of, like say when you're little and you're holding your mom or dad's hand because they want to keep an eye on you in the store or whatever, or even crossing the street. You give them your hand, they attach to you, but as soon as you cross the street or whatever, they let go. You're back in safety. It's that kind of attachment. Attachment and detachment. Or letting go, I'm talking about. It's not really, because again, like, you know your parents' hands, you know their voice, you know how they act. So as soon as they call you, like say you're at the park and they say, you know, whatever your name is, it's time to go home, you know it's them. Even if there's another child with the same name, you know it's your parent because you know their voice. And in the style of detachment I'm talking about is like when you're at the park with your parent as a kid. You have enough knowing of their voice, the tone they use, and everything like that, to know enough that when they call you to go home, you can react in that way. But you're attached to it, but you're not completely attached to it. If you understand what I'm saying. You can have you hear yourself saying the affirmation and you know it's going to happen. So to attach from that until it does isn't like, or detaching from it isn't like getting rid of something you love or being at a park when you're young and going off and playing and knowing your parents' voice enough to know when they call you to go home. It's a letting go of the you're letting go of the desire of the thing and allowing it to fully come to fruition at its own pace. Kind of like when you're growing up and your parents have to go through. So you start out as a newborn baby at home all the time. Then you go into preschool. Then you go into elementary. And as you grow, there's more and more detachment from your parent. That's the kind of detachment I'm talking about. It's not fully detaching, but it's also not I guess what I'm saying, it's not enmeshment of your desire that you want. Like you don't want to be enmeshed with your parent where you don't know where you begin and they end. You also don't want to go so far into your desired reality that you don't know where that ends and the 3D begins. So there's that overlap of attachment and detachment from your desire. It's not one or the other at any given time. It's both. Because you want enough feeling there that you can you want enough feeling that you can live in the end of what you're trying to manifest so it does appear, but you don't want too much that when it does appear, it appears, but like only halfway, or like say you manifest your SP, you're in the relationship, but they're not exactly how you want them to behave, or they're doing something that annoys you. You want enough attachment to it that when it does happen, you're happy. But as well as that attachment, you want the detachment. So if there's any, like with an SP, if there's any wavering on their side, you can still be comfortable enough to, well, one, talk to them about it, but two, use your affirmations and get them to conform to what you want.